What's up, Irish fans? Anthony Romo here with a Week 12 edition of our player profiles. Glad to be joined once again here at the Golden Dawn with Senior Marc Manning. Marc, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this is always the cool thing. Once you get farther on into the playoffs, you get to kind of cycle back through the guys here.
Yeah.
One of the seniors, so of course, we'd more than want to have you back here at the Golden Dawn. And you had a very special moment last Friday against Hawken. I talked about it with you real briefly after the game, but you're able to get a 66-yard touchdown pass on a screen from Jack Ericson to get back into the end zone where you were in so many times last year. Coach was talking about how you kind of made a position switch from slot to outside receiver. Just what was the feeling like to be able to kind of break away and get back in that end zone?
It felt great. Obviously, this season we've been moving the ball around a lot more. I'm outside, so the different opportunities come for me, and that was my opportunity, and I took it.
So a big win last week, 43-12 over Hawken in the first round of the playoffs. And another thing we were talking with Coach about was kind of you're playing a team in Tallmadge this week who just won their first playoff game in 10 years coming off of last week's win. And then you have you guys who made it all the way to the state title game last year. How important is it during the playoffs to kind of reset each Monday and look at the week with a new approach?
We talk about it on Saturday when we come in for film, that we have to fix our mistakes and then forget about last week and move on to the next week. We can't really worry about anything that happened in the past because it's a new week, new challenge every week.
And then the first time we talked to you, we talked about the whole senior year thing, and that was a long time ago. We talked about how you guys hope to make it to the playoffs and go on a playoff run. Well, the playoffs are here now. If we look back on your senior year so far, what do you think this team has improved on the most since week one?
Moving the ball around with everybody, giving everybody the ball in the game, which is really hard to do with 5-6 different guys.
Yeah, and we saw last week, Steve and I were kind of laughing up in the booth because it's that first half especially seemed like a new kid had the ball in his hands every single play. Usually you get used to those few guys, you, Will, DC, Christian, the list goes on, Jack. And then a couple times, like, we'd see a catch and I'd look down and I'm like, wait a minute, it would just throw me off guard a little bit. You guys have done a great job getting everyone involved. And I think that you guys do that each year and that helps the trickle-down effect of the program because when guys get touches early on, when you were younger, now look where you are, one of the leaders of this team. And also, played a tough schedule this year. We talked about it earlier, the schedule looking forward. Well, now when we can look back, of course, you guys lost 2 games during the regular season, 2 very hard-fought games against Fitch and against St. V's. How has kind of playing a tough schedule like that got you guys ready for the playoffs?
It gets us ready. We play up a higher competition. So when we do play these teams in our division, I wouldn't say it's easier, but we know the challenge that comes with it.
Of course, it's stuff that you've already seen this year, and you've seen it from some big kids. We were talking earlier just a little bit about the Fitch game. They play St. V's this week, and that'll be interesting because Fitch has a good rushing attack, and you guys too, but St. V's, something that kind of wowed me was their secondary was huge, too. Their linebackers.
Their line and secondary, they're massive.
They're massive. So that'll definitely be a tough test for Fitch this week. And obviously it was a really tough test for you guys at home. And that was a close game all the way through, but St. V just kind of had 1 or 2 more plays than you guys did. But hopefully they do well in Division 2. Well, hopefully Fitch does well this week, and then hopefully you guys do well. So looking forward to this week's opponent, Tallmadge Blue Devils. Mentioned them a little bit earlier. It could be an exciting game for you because this is a team in Tallmadge that likes to throw the ball a lot, over 28 pass attempts per game from their quarterback. Does that excite you at all when you're watching the film and you're thinking that the ball could be coming your way a lot?
I mean, of course, like you just watch a film and they're throwing the ball to someone on a play. I mean, they got guys and they got a 4-year starter quarterback. So they're going to throw the ball where somebody's going to make a play.
Of course, and you guys, I think, have one of the best secondaries in Northeast Ohio. When you look across the board, you, Will, DC, Landon Charles, Luke Cole are only a freshman.
Yeah.
He seems like he has an interception every game now. He's always finding a way to be right where the ball is. And then looking forward to this week's matchup, of course, another game that you get to play at home at Stambaugh Stadium. Just how special is it to play on a home field like the one at YSU?
It's really special. Of course, like most of the students are going to come out and support, and then the loud crowd from the fans, it really helps a lot.
And I was telling Coach this a little bit ago. I saw last night that Tallmadge is really all in on this game this week. Thursday, they're having a big community pep rally to get ready for it. So they're going to bring their fans. We know that Ursuline brings their own fans. It should definitely be a fun match. And it's kind of weird with Stambaugh Stadium in a way because there's always good crowds, but you can never really kind of tell because the place seats 17,000 people. But definitely will be a good crowd on Friday night. Even with the away fans, like we saw with Fitch, it was very loud at that game. They brought a lot of people. Do you hear the crowd at all as a player? Does that kind of fuel you, or are you so zoned in on what you see that it's kind of all silent in a way?
It's a both. Like on a big play, you can hear the crowd roar, but like you never know what's actually like happening. So like you can hear it, but you're so focused that you really don't know.
And then finally, before we wrap this up here with this edition of our player profiles, brought to you by the Golden Dawn. Thank you to the Golden Dawn for promoting everything Ursuline Irish football. From a defensive standpoint, because I think defense is going to be huge this week with what we talked about Tallmadge, what are some things that this defense is going to have to do to kind of try to neutralize that passing attack?
Our D-line has to play the way they've been playing the past couple of weeks and limit what the quarterback can do inside the pocket and keep him inside the pocket. And then our DBs just have to be on point with their coverages.
All right. Well, Mark, final home game of your career this week. Let's make it a good one. Good luck this Friday.
Thank you.